Thank you so much, and thank you everyone for joining us today. We are so excited to kind of walk through some of the highlights. This is just a few high-level areas that we're going to kind of talk about through the modules. And as we mentioned, we'll be kind of going through some slides here, and then I will jump over into the product and show you a few of the things that we're able to show you that we have access to a little bit early. Please do put anything in the chat that if you have any questions, and we'll try to answer those as we go along or at the end. And we hope that you guys get some good information out of this. So we'll just move along here. So super excited to kind of just continue with the AI conversation. And I know that AI is everywhere. We see it everywhere as we're, in our personal lives, our work lives. It's just, it's everything that we see in media and with software solutions. And Sage really has a foundation of AI, and this is not something new that they've just started working on. They've been embracing this and working on this, and it really is a foundational piece of Sage Intacct. So continuing to see that and see new functionality released with that is very exciting. Old school accountant in me, is really excited to see how this has transitioned from the days of doing the green bar, tabular, columnar paper that we used to do our debits and credits on. And seeing how the automation is really enhancing and giving us more opportunity to be more analytical versus just task-driven. So some of that functionality that's going to be continuing to be released and rolled out is more intelligent matching with AP automation. So if you're not already taking advantage of the AP automation and you're interested in that, please reach out to us, your account manager, our marketing team, our services team, any of us. We'd love to talk to you more about that. But that just gets some additional matching automation in there with line level matching versus just kind of header level where it's pulling in that vendor ID, the invoice ID as it's bringing that data in. And it's available whether you're using AP automation or you're using it through the purchasing module and you're matching those purchase or those vendor invoices to purchase requisitions. So seeing additional functionality rolling out with that. The finance intelligence agent, this is going to be a phased early adopter, so it's not generally available yet. It's being rolled out, in a kind of phased approach. So this is giving us some different financial insights via natural language queries. So using Sage Copilot. So if you're already using that for the help functionality, hopefully you're taking advantage of that. Maybe you've taken advantage of and are adding the close assistant to your system where it's giving you access to some of those reports and that close functionality with that task list and checklist and notifications of where you are in the close process. But the finance intelligence agent is going to give us the ability to further kind of ask questions of our system and use natural language. So we don't have to code or know anything special. We can just ask it, what was my budget versus actual for my office supplies or my, marketing expenses or whatever that is that you're interested in, and just have that conversational, normal language, natural language that you use every day to ask the system questions and have it return that data for you versus you're searching, hunting and pecking, kind of writing your own reports, things like that. So we're very excited to start seeing that rolled out and seeing that being adopted by our clients. Additional some entry enhancements to AP automation, again, with line entry formatting for those draft bills. Right now, you have to make a choice when you import those in or have your email set up where those are coming in, whether it's doing line level detail or if it's doing it more as kind of a lump sum bill. They're making that now available where you can kind of switch back and forth on each bill as you're coming in. So it makes it where you can make the choice that's applicable for that specific bill. Maybe it does have line level details and you want to see all those lines come in on your AP bill, or it has a more summarized look and that's all you really are interested in how it posts. So you have that choice more flexibly now on the bill itself. Again, continuing with this AI conversation, that bill line entry, kind of what we just talked about, having that directly on the bill, having a unified place to upload those bills. So you can do that directly from your automated transactions list. Previously, if you weren't emailing those in, you kind of had to find and know the place to go to upload those. So having a better place to upload those, whether using AP or purchasing workflows, having one place to do that. And then again, that closed workspace, having those tasks where you are having those notifications, those checklists, those tasks set up for your close, you can now actually link those to custom views in the system. So previously it was kind of using those default list views. When it was linking those out, you can actually create custom list views for those different tasks and have those be linked to that closed task list. So just further getting you exactly what you need when you need it, versus having to kind of use standards or defaults in the system. Okay. So getting into some of the specific modules that we're talking about, and having the different functionality here. This one I am super excited about. It doesn't seem like a lot when you kind of talk about it, but having a roles permission report. I know I personally have helped clients build custom reports where we're trying to gather what those roles mean and what they have permissions to when auditors are asking for it. And so that's now going to be available. So there'll be a consolidated snapshot view of your permissions assigned to a role in a single report right there on your menu. So you don't have to create a custom report. You don't have to go and export out all of your roles and the permissions under those and kind of create something to send to the auditors. So you'll have an aggregated report right there at your fingertips for your administrators to be able to run anytime they need to view that. Okay. Just as a reminder, in accounts payable, if you are using vendor payments powered by CSI, that support is ending with R3 that's coming out. So in August, that will be ending. Please reach out to us if you haven't already to talk about options for that. There are other options, Mineral Tree being the proposed solution that Sage Intacct is supporting to replace the CSI vendor payments. But that's not the only option. So there are other things that we can talk about. So if you are using those vendor payments powered by CSI, please reach out to us and let us know so that we can help you work through a replacement solution for that. Okay. Accounts receivable, processing customer refunds through AP. So this one is something, again, super excited to see. It's not uncommon for clients to have in their AR a situation where they need to pay a customer a refund and process that. And previously it was kind of a multi-step process where you're going in and you're having to kind of write off the balance in AR and then go create a vendor and set them up that way and create a bill and put in a payment and process that. You can actually now create the refunds in AR and have it generate that bill over in AP. So very excited to see that. That's something that I know a lot of clients have requested. So seeing them taking that feedback from customers and what they want to see in the product and rolling that out is always very exciting for us. Cash management, some updates there. Again, another piece that's going to be kind of available for early adopters. So we should be seeing that rolling out generally available in the next couple of releases. But that's going to be a cash requirements report with payment reminders. So you can do one-touch customer payment reminders if you have payments that you have not received yet. So you can do that from your cash requirements report. And send those out. So it kind of helps with your collections and helps speed up receiving those payments. Improve visibility and accuracy for your bank reconciliations. So with those enhancements, what they're looking at is scoring, if you will, and I say that kind of in air quotes, how those matches are made for your match rules in your bank reconciliation process. So you can see what that scoring looks like for those matches to really have more comfort in all of that automation, again, that's behind the scenes and making you feel comfortable and giving you visibility of that so that you are confident in the matches and your bank reconciliation. Okay. We see a lot of things coming out with the Sage Fixed Asset Management solution with some enhancements in that. Summarized depreciation postings, so you can now group them by accounting attributes. I know we've seen a lot of clients that have given us feedback using this module that it creates a separate journal entry for every single asset that it depreciates. And it does do that in detail so that it, excuse me, provides that asset as a dimension and gives you that reporting functionality on that asset as a dimension. So we're not losing that, but it does allow you to kind of group those by some of those other accounting attributes so that you're not seeing quite so many journal entries out there, but you're still getting the detail that you need. You can also now split assets into 20 different assets, up to 20 different assets, while preserving the depreciation asset on those assets and the history on that. So being able to take one asset and split that if you need to, so that you can put it to different dimensions, or if you put it in as one quantity, you know, one lump sum number, but maybe it was 10 computers. And so now you want to kind of split that out. You do have that functionality. Okay. Now you have the ability to reverse your depreciation. So if you have posted depreciation previously, if you reverted that, it just deleted it out. And so we have seen some feedback where clients really don't like that delete. They really want to see those reversals so they can see that in and out. So now you have the choice of whether that is going to be deleted or whether that's going to be a reversal. So that gives you that option to kind of keep that audit trail on there if you need that, and have that visibility of that original entry being reversed versus being deleted. Okay. You can also do revert partial disposal. So if you have done a partial disposal and you need to revert that back out, kind of undo that, if you will have that ability as well. Previously, you were having to do kind of manual journal corrections if you needed to kind of undo that. But now you can actually revert that, and it will reverse out the partial disposal on that. Okay. Some enhancements on the CIP process, the construction and process for assets. So you do have flexible capitalization dates now, and you can revert that as well. So if you need to kind of undo that. So we're seeing a lot. Then you have that ability now to kind of undo some of that, where previously it was kind of always manual corrections that you were kind of doing it through journal entries. Okay. They have added a disposal tab, so you can see on the fixed asset itself all of those disposal details, and they're on a dedicated tab. So just giving you more visibility of the data and the transactions that have occurred on that asset. Okay. And they have moved on the AP bill and the purchasing lines where that section for fixed assets is. So they've dropped that down a little bit, so you'll still have all of those dimensions that you have that maybe are not on the line itself, that you kind of open that details to see. And then they've moved that fixed asset section down below all of those dimensions. So just to kind of give that a little bit more clear space, and it's not kind of mixed in with everything else. So they've dropped that down. So just be aware of that, because that might catch you off guard if you're using this, that has moved down. Okay. With order entry, some of the changes that are being made, doing some grouping, billing group invoicing. So instead of doing individual charges, individual invoice runs, you can do those kind of in groups now. And so you can create larger groups and process those. We've also got a custom order entry email address, so you can have more control over the sender and the reply to email addresses that are used when you're sending out invoices. So kind of just keeping that, again, so it's appearing to come from you, not from the system. It's coming from your email addresses, and then having that control over what that email address is. Okay. Purchasing, this again is an early adopter piece that we're going to have is custom purchasing approvals. So we'll be able to kind of customize those purchasing approvals. Right now, they're very structured and very kind of stringent in those purchasing approvals. So having the ability to kind of customize those is really exciting. So we're very excited to see that and expect to see a lot of clients taking advantage of that. And then additionally, similar to the order entry side where we had some email changes, we can do custom sender and reply to email addresses, again, for purchasing. And that just gives us better control over those emails so that they're coming from us, not from a system. So our customers, our vendors are receiving those better and hopefully not getting caught in spam. And then also supporting the internal system email authentication and verification that you're doing to make sure that those emails are successfully delivered. All right, and before we jump over to our Q&A, I am gonna jump into the product here and show you a few of the things. I can't show you all of them because some of them are not available to us even yet in our preview site, but I did want to show you a few of the things. So the first one I want to look at is our roles permission report. So I'm just going to run this. Let's see, we'll just pick a really old date here and view this. And so I can see at that point in time what my roles are. So this is my accounting manager role. This is the policy, so it's approved timesheets, and this has the ability to list. The API has functionality, etc. And so you can see all of my roles here, what modules they have access to, and then the actual task itself. And further, I can see when that role was created and when it was modified. So I can see if any changes were made to that role and when those were done and by whom. So again, really nice for our audit reports to send that and be able to provide them with that audit detail of our roles that we don't, we're previously doing through some custom reports or some kind of exports of data. The next thing I want to walk through and show you is the AR refunds. So I do have already kind of one in process, but I'll walk you through creating a new one. So with this, I'm just going to go in and I'm going to create a new refund. I'm going to select my customer that I have. This does require a little bit of setup because you do have to go in and identify on your customers if they are linked to a vendor that's already set up, or if you want it to automatically create a new vendor. So if it's not a vendor that's already set up that you have in the system that you want to connect to those and link those together, you can tell it on the customer itself to create a new vendor when you are processing this. So I'm just going to select my customer here. I'm going to tell it I want to process this in AP. Select, since I do have foreign currency in here, and I'm going to select my credit memo that I have available out there. I've got $800 still left available that I can process an adjustment for or refund for. So I'm going to post that. You'll see now I have that process in AP posted for that refund. And if I go over to my AP bills, I will see that it has now created that AP bill for that $800 credit. And so I can process that through accounts payable and pay that bill and cut them a check. One of the nice things that this does as well that I'll point out is I did process part of this yesterday to just show you that in that scenario, I did have the customer marked to create a new vendor since I didn't already have a vendor set up for that customer. And then when I processed this, the remainder of that refund today, it had linked that with that new vendor that it had set up. So it recognized that it had created that vendor and linked that on that customer record. So it's not creating a new vendor every time I process a refund now to that same customer. It created it the first time for me, and then it process or attached that to my customer record for any future refunds. So really nice functionality. I don't have to do a lot of manual setup in the different modules. That's just a one-time thing to say in AR that I'm going to process those refunds and then identify on my customer if it's already connected to a vendor that's already set up, or if not, to create that, and then it will just continue using that same one. Okay, so very nice there. While I'm here in the bill, let me also show you that change in our fixed asset and just show you where that's at. So you can see here's all of my dimensions, and it's just moved this section down here. So I can see that it needs to create that fixed asset, put in all of that same information that you do when you're entering that for a fixed asset on that bill. It's just moved that section down below my dimensions that are there. Okay. All right. And then a couple of things on the assets themselves that I want to show you. Oop, I picked the wrong one. Let me go back to my asset list. Watch it spin for a minute. This is a demo system on a preview site, so it is a little bit slower than our production, but pick one that's actually in service here so you can see that. And so you'll see here, I've got a tab here for split. So if I do split that asset, I'll see all of that transaction history there, that disposal tab. So if I dispose of that asset, I can see all of that information there, all of that detail. So to split or dispose of those assets, we'll just go through and do a quick little split of this. So I want to split that. We'll just create a asset, and we'll say it's $10,000 with no salvage value. Oh, I can't do. Oh, I gotta do a. Try that date. I should have paid attention to what my next posting date was. Okay, well, I can't split that asset because I don't know when my depreciation has already posted. Should have planned for that better. But that's the process and the steps that you would go through for that to be able to split those assets. And then you'll see that detail right here on a tab on those assets so that you can see all of that and have visibility. So really, all of the new releases, the functionality that are coming out are really wrapped around making our job more efficient, making the data more available and visible to us, having access to that more easily, so we're not kind of hunting and moving around the system to find stuff. And as a reminder, just so that you can see that, the release notes, they are already available right here on your desktop, so you can go to your home page, read the release notes, you can see more details. There's a bunch of releases out there, of information out there. Get our handout as well. Our team has done a great job of kind of encapsulating all of this and putting it, some good information out there for you, but you can get access to different videos and more detail on all of the releases. We've just gone through and chosen a few of our team's favorites and the things that we're most excited about to see in the product. But all of that's available right now. The release does come out this Friday night. So the system does go down at 7:30 Pacific time for about 4 hours Friday night, and then Saturday morning, all of this new feature functionality will be available to you in the system. So with that, are there any questions?
Yes, no questions yet, but again, just like what Teresa said, if you do have any questions, now is the perfect time to ask away. As we wait to see if anyone asks any questions, Teresa, I have a question for you. What is like the key thing that you're really excited about for this upcoming release?
I will tell you, so I kind of have some mixed emotions with that. I am so excited about the AI stuff that's coming out and just how that's enhancing the job. But honestly, the accountant in me and the old school typing stuff in that customer refund thing, I cannot just tell you how excited I am about that piece. I don't know how many
Yeah.
times we've helped clients, and I've done it when I was doing accounting of the double entry. So having that is huge. So I'm loving that it's not, I think what excites me the most about it is Intacct is really being forward thinking with adopting and really making all of the AI and that functionality available. So it's the newer technology and that new exciting stuff that we're seeing, but they're not forgetting about that core stuff that, we kind of struggle with, and that's the double entry and that permission report that we're kind of having to do workarounds to handle. So they're really leading with all of the new technology, but they're staying true to themselves with this was an accounting system built for accountants by accountants, and they're not forgetting that core stuff that we need access to is still important as well. So it's hard for me to pick one because I'm so
Yes.
excited about all the new AI and the new functionality, but I'm loving the fact that they're making stuff that we kind of still struggle with, even with all the new technology. They're making that easier and better too. So I would say top two things, we'll go with that, are the customer refunds. That's a big one. And then the finance intelligent agent, I'm so excited about that piece of it.
I love to hear it. Yes. Um, we haven't gotten any questions yet, but after the session, if you do have a question, you can reach out to Sage Intacct support at dsdinc.com, or you can interact with any of the emails that you've received from the DSD marketing team, and I'll be sure to direct that to the Sage Intacct team. As well, if you have any questions about our SLA plans, consulting, again, please reach out to our support team. They are here to be here there for you. And as well, just a quick reminder that this session is being recorded. So if you did step away or happen to drop off, no worries. The recording will be available to you within 24 hours. So with that, if there's no questions, we'll close it off here. Thank you so much, Teresa, for your participation today. And again, please feel free to reach out if you do have any questions. And with that, thank you all for joining us.